Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Got this video here from the I Hit Girls. Let's take a look at that.
The MAGA manosphere is going through quite some ordeals right now. And I think we just need to go through all of these videos together and dissect them. Let's first listen to Andrew Schultz.
When Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking thing.
I don't know what he's done. Yeah, exactly to your point. If you tell me, it's easier for me to believe you wanted to do all these things if any of them were happening in the way that you said they were.
To that point, like there'll be people that like they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that.
Okay, Andrew, you voted for a convicted felon that tried to overturn the federal government. Let's just start there. So any form of logic that you had after what we all saw with our own eyes on January 6th, anything that you saw after that is just you bending and not wanting to vote for another side, not wanting to hear the truth, caving to this toxic masculinity in this, we're going to deport everybody and we're going to be tough and we're going to make America great. It's all bullshit. The only thing Trump ran on were lies. And he lied to everybody and dumb people fell for it. And the main reason that he lied is to prevent himself from going to prison and to shut down investigations into him that probably would have led to incarceration and bankruptcy. And if you can't see that when it's happening in real time and you lean into your caveman impulses and you believed a man who is droning on about Hannibal Lecter, who is can't answer what his plans are for healthcare. All he talked about was mass deportation. And if you're going to join a man who his fundamental campaign promise is demonizing people that are in this country, some legally, some illegally, but that's his number one focus is to demonize him in the most ugly, horrific ways. This is what you're going to get. But I don't know how you teach somebody like you, who clearly you're not a dumb fuck, but you fell for all this bullshit propaganda. And Trump waltzes onto your podcast and puts on a charm offensive. And then you think, yep, this is my guy. I'm going to vote for him. Yet all of the other red flags that everybody on the planet saw, we didn't ignore. And now here you are. Here you are with a guy who is facilitating more wars, deporting the wrong people, brazen economic corruption, dismantling the economy. And this is what you voted for because you knew better. You just don't want to own it. You don't want to own what your own eyes and your own ears told you. Instead, you just caved to the toxic masculinity. Let's listen to Andrew Schultz go on.
The only party right now that to me seems America first is the Democrat Socialist Party.
Yep.
Bernie is America first. Mamdani and all his ideas that he will not be able to execute, and I frankly think many of them are not good ideas, but he is no doubt New York first. The policies seem to want to help people here. That's what I care about. If MAGA wants to take this America First thing back, they got to start looking out for America. It doesn't seem like they're doing it. Lying to Americans is not America First. There is one lie, which is Epstein did not have a blackmail ring on all these very influential people. And by saying that that didn't happen, you have to tell a lot of other little lies. Every one of them just pulls a little piece of thread away from the fabric. And we're starting to see right through right now. And it's just embarrassing.
What's embarrassing is that you have a man that ran around from 2020 to current date that said that he won the 2020 election and he lost it by like 7 or 8 million votes. So when your whole campaign is based on a lie, guess what happens? Lies trickle down. His first campaign, guess what lie that was started on? The lie that Barack Obama wasn't born in the United States and he was born in Kenya. So what I don't understand is this logic when you see somebody is a blatant liar, that then you assume after these big egregious lies that suddenly they're going to be truth tellers. So why you're so shocked that MAGA is lying is more shocking to me, because every day you go online and you listen and you discuss today's politics. But when somebody's core identity is lying, think about his business practices. This motherfucker bankrupted casinos. He lies non-stop. The first term, I think it was the New York Times or Washington Post, I cannot remember, documented 35,000 lies that this man told. So what this tells me, Andrew, is that you cherry pick what news you want to absorb and what news benefits your train of thought in that particular day. MAGA is face planting spectacularly. And this was exactly what happened in Trump 1.0 when he completely mismanaged and bungled COVID. And this is what's happening this term. We're already, by all economic standards, already receding. We're already in a recession. And this is going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you're one thing that you like that he's doing is deporting people, he's deporting all of the wrong people. There is reporting out that ICE agents have been told to shut down their investigations into crime rings and drug dealers and just go to Home Depots because Donald Trump's deportation numbers pale in comparison to Barack Obama, which, by the way, was born in Hawaii. But I don't know if you believe that or not, because for some reason you tend to want to believe a fucking liar. And of course, Bernie Sanders is America first. Of course, AOC is America first. But the Republican Party for decades has demonized the words socialism. And what it is really is it's opportunity. They are democratic opportunists. They want an opportunity for everyone. And right now, the system is completely rigged, exclusively for MAGA right now, but a lot of Democrats are beholden to the same powerful groups. Bernie is the one politician, and Zoran Mamdani, that can go out and completely be untethered and unshackled and tell the truth to working class Americans as to why they can't have nice things. And you can't have nice things because people like Donald Trump and other politicians have rigged the system against the working class. When working class people go out and work a 40-hour work week and then get a side hustle on the weekends of 10 to 20 hours, and it's not enough to make ends meet, then MAGA politicians label them as lazy and they need to get out of their mom's basement. Nobody fights for them. So I would hope that the manosphere, at this point, you've been so lucky, you're wildly successful, you're an incredible communicator. Fight for everybody. Cut through the bullshit and welcome aboard. Donald Trump has been a compulsive, pathological liar his entire life. This is not new news. It's just new news for you. All right, next up, we have the Daily Beast reporting on Ghislaine Maxwell. So President Donald Trump weighed pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell for fear that she would spill secrets about his decade-long friendship with convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, after Maxwell, now 63, was arrested by the FBI in July 2020 for allegedly helping Epstein run his sex trafficking ring, luring and grooming young girls into a web of abuse. Trump grew very wary and began asking, what could she say? What would she say? Says author Michael Wolff to the Daily Beast. Trump and Epstein have been friends since the 1980s. Wolff described them as two guys joined at the hip for a good 15 years. And Andrew Schultz, this is yet another thing that those of us who don't cherry pick which news we want for the day, and we just say, we want the news warts and all, whether it helps my narrative and helps my biases or doesn't confirm my narrative and doesn't confirm my biases. I just want the news. I have known for a very, very long time that Donald Trump is at the epicenter of the Jeffrey Epstein case. And you can look no further than Alex Acosta. He was a prosecutor down in Florida that gave Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal. And guess what happened? After Alex Acosta gave Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal before he was arrested the second time, Alex Acosta gets appointed to be a cabinet member in Trump 1.0. All of this has been out in the public domain forever. So the fact that you're surprised that they're lying about Jeffrey Epstein is more surprising to me than the fact that they're lying about Jeffrey Epstein. Raise your standards for intelligence. Raise your standard for truth seeking. This is not a surprise to half the country. You've just been in a batshit crazy MAGA flea bag bubble because it has behooved you, because Donald Trump trotted out on your podcast and you had your little show pony there. And I'm sure you made a bunch of money off of that. And you know what? Good for you for interviewing Donald Trump. I don't knock that one bit, but be honest. Be honest about who they are. Every day we get on this podcast and I call out Democrats just as much as I call out Republicans. So welcome to the arena of recognizing facts. You're just a tad bit late, but nonetheless, you've arrived. Next up, we have Joe Rogan, who's going through some things as well.
I'm willing to vote Democrat. Show me one that says something that makes sense that I can trust that's not dying. Just show me one that's younger. Show me one that is a reasonable centrist that makes sense with all this. But they don't want to do that. They just want to keep trotting this crazy situation out where you get this Alzheimer's patient or whatever he's got, dementia, and he's like making shit up and just saying things, and everybody has to correct him. And it's like, and everyone knows what's going on, but no one on one side is willing to say it, because if you say it, then it's going to empower Trump, who's Hitler. It's like, holy shit, kids.
Okay. They're all going through quite a lot, as you can see. Trump 2.0 has just not turned out to be the ass-kicking regime that they wanted it to be. Joe Rogan has been talking about the deportation practices and how inhumane they are. But this is what I want to say to Joe Rogan. At one point, you were a Bernie Sanders supporter. And so, Joe, a reasonable centrist Democrat is MAGA light. They are beholden to the same lobbyists that all these MAGA people are. The reason that Bernie spits facts is because he's completely untethered from dark money. The reason that Mamdani spits facts is he's completely untethered for dark money. But you've been radicalized to believe that somebody who talks and speaks out for the working class is crazy, and that's so far from center. It's not. It is the most normal thing on the planet. If we are a country of the people, by the people, for the people, all of our politicians, all of them would sound like Bernie, AOC, and Mamdani. But because of a decades-long propaganda campaign to make you think when people speak out for the marginalized and speak out for the poor and speak out for the working class, that's so radical. And to say, hey, if somebody's gay, that's none of your business. They get to love who they want to love. You've been indoctrinated to think that's so radical. Or if somebody has a trans child, that maybe they can handle that privately with their doctor. You've got this MAGA movement that makes you think they're trying to send kids to school and whack off wieners left and right, which is not fucking happening. You guys have such a massive audience, and this country is going down the toilet, and you guys have been complicit in it. So get on fucking board and call him out. I do it all the time from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I'm a woman. You guys, you can do it. You can call this motherfucker out. He's a liar. He's a criminal. We'll all move on, but we have got to change the narrative, because if you start calling him out, then business leaders will start calling him out. And then maybe some of these Republicans will grow a spine and open up some investigations into all of the crimes that he's committing, because none of us are going to be able to do this anymore. None of us are going to be able to freely speak like this if this regime keeps going. Because you know what? He's the closest thing that the United States of America has ever had to Hitler. And Hitler didn't just start doing what he did overnight. It started this exact same way. We have a place called Alligator Alcatraz, and the president of the United States talked and spoke about migrants. Now, if they escape, they're going to have to curve so the alligators won't eat them. Like, this is normal. It's not normal. At least stand up for people that work their asses off every day. You don't work harder just because you make more money, Joe Rogan. The 7-Eleven clerk, the janitor, they work just as hard as the rest of us, if not harder. So fight for them. Have some dignity and have some decency. All right. That's all we have for today. I hope the manosphere keeps calling it out, because it's going to take all of us, every single one of us, to fight this fascist, crazy regime. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you all later.
I'm kind of surprised, really, that these people in MAGA here, or at least some of them anyway, are sitting there acting like, oh my God, Trump's not doing anything he said he was going to do. You know, I can't tell you how fucking ridiculous that sounds. You know, am I a genius or something? Because, you know, I knew from the get-go this fucking guy was lying. In both fucking times he ran for president. You know, why is that? Late to the game. Yes, they're very late to the game. And they are very slow to come to the understanding. Okay, 63% of the Republicans feel that Trump's doing a good job. 63% of Republicans. Okay, I'm not saying all Americans, I'm saying just Republicans. More than half of them approve of what Trump's doing. So that tells me a lot right there. That even though Trump lied to their faces, okay, and he's going to be cutting Medicaid and all these things that have got passed, okay, and the deportations, even with all this stuff happening, okay, they still approve of what he's doing, which means this is what they wanted. They knew. They fucking knew. 63% of Republicans knew what Trump was up to, and they approved of it. Okay? So, for those people out there, you know, like Rogan and all them other ones that are sitting here, you know, bitching and complaining, you know, Trump's betrayed us, stabbed us in the back, whatever, okay? All these people saying this shit, not just so long ago, were out there praising this guy, even when he was lying, and the press was catching him in his lies, okay? And he wouldn't answer any questions in any specifics, like, I got concepts of plans. That was okay with Joe Rogan. That was okay with other members of MAGA, okay, that Trump was being vague, and the idea that he was going to deport people and stuff didn't trouble them, didn't make them think that, you know, this is too close to, you know, giving a president, you know, this kind of power, which really he shouldn't have, but he wants to do this. And it could and knowing the kind of man that he is, it could so easily go into the obscure, which is what's happening now. I mean, just yesterday in California, some of the farms, the berry growers down there and stuff, and those that grow marijuana, they got raided by ICE, and they didn't just go in there, you know, in cars. They went in there with military vehicles, okay, and they had a helicopter come in to bring these fuckers water while they were doing their job. And I'm thinking, you know, this is beyond the pale here, okay? This is ridiculous. You know, Obama deported a lot of immigrants, and so did Biden. But did you see them doing it this way? No. They didn't have to do it this way because they had a system in place to do it, and to do it legally. But Trump, no, he wants it to be a big theater. He wants it to be a big show. Like, look what I can do. I can rattle my sword. I can intimidate people. I can destroy families. He gets off on this. Okay? He gets off on this. And this is part of why you can't believe what this man tells you, is because he dwells in the negative. He dwells in the criminal side of life. Okay, just about everything this man did in life was a scam, you know, or a crime, or something that was nefarious. He's the king of nefarious activities. He makes all the fucking mob bosses that we've ever had in the United States history look like shit. Okay, this guy is the king of all fucking mob bosses. And that's exactly what he is. He's not a president. Okay, he could never be a president. But what he can be is a gangster, a fucking mob boss. And that's what he is. Okay? And so while shit like this is going on in the country, he's out playing golf. And MAGA for years has been encouraged not to critically think about anything. And why is that? Because they don't want people understanding what Trump's doing to them, you know, to the country, is total opposite of what he said he was going to do. But at the same time, it wasn't a complete opposite, right? I mean, he was kind of telling you in a lot of his speeches and stuff that he'd give at the rallies what he'd like to do, okay? Making it sound like, well, if I could do it, you know. But no, when he was saying that, oh, this is what I'd like to do, that's exactly what he's going to do, okay? Not because he liked to do it, that's because he's going to do it. Okay, so people, you know, you have to look at this guy. He is the kind of fellow that we all should have bullshit filters to protect us from. But apparently, a lot of people in the Republican Party neglected to develop that aspect of human thinking, okay? They don't have a bullshit filter, which means they, as long as you tell them what they want to hear, they'll support you, okay? That's all they want. You want to say, I'm going to start burning crosses in front of churches and stuff like that, you know, that's what they'll applaud that. You want to say, well, I'm going to take away all the poor people's money, give it to the rich, you know, they'll applaud that too. And then all of a sudden, when he gets in there and he starts doing that, they're all like, oh, I never knew he was going to do that. You know, it's like, you know, it's a joke. This fucking party, this MAGA group is a fucking joke. Jesus. I've been saying it since last fucking 3 years. This group, I mean, it's a cult. Yeah, it is a cult. But it's a fucking joke. It's because it's filled with idiots. All these people cannot stand the fact that we got their number. Okay, the Democrats know what they are, and they can't stand it. They want to be like, you don't know what we're doing. Trump's playing four-dimensional chess. You guys can't follow what he's doing. Okay, yeah, right. In the meantime, your livelihood is going to be dismantled, and you don't even know why. Okay? You don't even know why. A lot of you people out there that supported him, you are also ones being deported out of this country, but you swore up and down you knew this guy and you knew what he was going to do, and the Democrats did no shit. Okay? And so he's trying to create an America that would only exist if somebody like Adolf Hitler was born just 30 years ago and he's the president. Okay, he's trying to create that reality here. Okay, that's what he's doing. And Rogan, I think it was funny, like, well, where are the Democrats? You know, where are these people that should be out there talking? Well, son of a bitch, they've been out there. You want somebody who's more centrist? You want somebody who stands for the people and not for the rich? You know, then throw your fucking support behind people like AOC. Okay? Throw your hat in the ring for Bernie Sanders. At least support him. Yeah, he's old. Okay, I give you that. But what he says, is it any less meaningful because he's old? He's been out there preaching the same shit for years, and you guys on the right have been shitting on him every chance you get. You know? So don't come to us now and say, oh, we need Bernie Sanders and we need AOC. No. You don't get to do that. You don't, on one hand, get to say these people are socialists, Nazis, and all this shit like that. You guys were part of the fucking problem in demonizing the Democrat Party. And now that you find yourself in a party that is what you were saying the Democrats are, and now your party is the one doing all the things you people were afraid of seeing happen. Now you want to pretend that, oh, we need to have the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders. We're not stupid, okay? You guys, you realize you're on the losing side. It's going to take more time for more of you guys to come to that realization, but you are starting to figure it out now. And like I said, and like Jen said in the video, you're late to the game, but at least you got there, okay? And now, you know, you need to, you know, actually man up this time and stop kissing the ring, stop kissing Trump's ass. You need to start talking what you really mean, what you really want, okay? Stop following the crowd, you know? Trump's doing you wrong, make it known. You know, he's fucked us up, and you know, our country's in a worse shape than it's ever been. And yeah, we are in a recession. The numbers will be coming out soon. You'll see that. And like I said, when things get more expensive, and they ain't done climbing, by the way. Inflation's still going up here in this country because of the shit Trump's done. So for those of you who thought voting for Trump was going to bring down inflation, you're in for a rude awakening. Okay, inflation is still going up, and in a few more months, what costs today is going to be more expensive tomorrow. Okay, basically, so don't expect that. People are not spending right now because they don't know what the hell is going to come down the pike. How can you blame them? People are struggling to make ends meet as it is. And you think people are going to go out and go to theme parks and stuff like that, and only when America is great can people do that sort of thing. Only when America is great can people decide or not have to make that choice of whether I should buy food or buy my medicine. Only when America is great, when the unemployment level is down. Okay? America is only great when people have enough money to be able to survive, where they're not having to struggle to make ends meet, where they can pay their bills, okay? And they can do some things that they would like to do instead of just living to work all the time. And, you know, they want to be able to go places. People want to be able to do that. That's when America is great. And we had that for a time, but the wealthy, the greedy, wasn't enough for them. You know, it wasn't enough that they could do all those things every day of the week if they wanted to. No, they wanted it all their way. They wanted all the fucking money, you know? And they cried. It's the taxes are killing us, really. Funny how, you know, we all pay taxes here, and the poor people pay them, and we bitch about them, but we go on. We continue to do the work that we have to do. But the wealthy, they complain that the taxes are too high, and yet they buy politicians, they buy lobbyists, they buy influence in the government to solve their little ill about high taxes. None of us can do that. We have to suffer with it as it goes. So if they have the money to do all those things, then they got money enough, more than enough, to be able to live their lives. And the whole argument about taxes are too high is just academic, okay? It really matters not to these people. They just sit around all day thinking about this shit, and they don't got anything else to do. You know, I mean, if you got all this time on your hands, yeah, you're going to be thinking about everything that comes your way. Jeffrey Epstein was one of those kind of people. More free time than a man should ever have. You know, had time enough there to rot his brain with perversions and stuff like that, and do sex trafficking and things like that, because he couldn't do anything else with his life. He's bored to tears, and so he turns into that shit. And he finds a fucking culprit with him, you know, Donald Trump, another guy. He's got more time on his hands than he knows what to do with. Okay? I think, you know, for people, there should be a cap on how much money a person has. I really do. I think because money eventually will corrupt the individual holding it. It gives them way too much power. especially in a capitalist society where money is king around here, okay? You give somebody all that fucking money, and they will destroy themselves in a heartbeat. I mean, it happens all the time with people that win mega bucks and lotteries and stuff. They were poor one day and they were millionaires the next, and what happens? They destroy themselves with that money. You know? Well, yeah, sure, a lot of these wealthy people today didn't start off poor. They were wealthy to begin with, but as they accumulated more and more and more money, eventually, you know, hey, all they do is spend it on any fucking thing they want. That's not such a good idea. It might appeal to a lot of folks that, oh, if I had all the money in the world, I could do anything I want. Yeah, but you know what? After a while, you start to run out of things to do with your money. Okay, and what do? You sit around and you just think about all the dark things that you could do with the money and see if you can get away with it or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That money corrupts. Greed is like one of the 7 deadly sins, and what feeds greed is money. Okay, and so you know, Trump, being what he is, a very wealthy guy, okay, has no business sitting in the White House. He's got everything he'll ever want in life. What the hell business does he need to be president of the United States? Okay, there's only one reason he wanted to get into that office, okay, to cover his ass for all the crimes he committed. Christ, he needed somebody to whitewash everything away, right? Okay, plus, you know, it's a toy. The White House is a toy. He gets to get in front of the camera and be a big shot, you know, when he ain't doing anything. Anytime he wants to rant on something, he's got Fox News ready to turn the cameras on. Okay, it's attention grabbing. He's an attention whore. We saw that in his campaigning. I mean, every time a Democrat would do something, he all of a sudden it'd be like, a press alert, you know, Trump's responding. You know, he had to keep the fucking light on himself. So he's very, I don't know, vain in that way, okay? And so many signs about why that guy should not be president. It was so evident. And if all those people in MAGA can, you know, call themselves Christian, they should have seen all the fucking signs that this guy was bad for the fucking country. They should have seen it. Nobody like Trump could be, oh, God picked him to run for president. Because some of these fucking MAGA people were thinking that, oh, he was a divine send here from the Almighty. Okay, he was meant to be president. Really? That's like saying, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer was meant to come here. God sent him here to murder all these people, you know. and you guys, you get that in your heads, you believe it. You're fucking sick. You are sick. You're sicker than the son of a bitch you're trying to support. You know, this is the kind of people that encompass MAGA. This is one of the reasons why none of us should ever listen to them and take what they say as truth. There's always a hidden agenda with these fucking people. Yeah, some of them fell in line with the crowd, all right, thinking, oh yeah, he's a safe bet. They couldn't stand Kamala Harris because she's black and a woman, okay? They couldn't stand that, so their racism moved him into the other side. Put him right in the fucking fire, basically. And so now we have this cult mentality, because that's all that's left of it now, basically. Just a cult. Because the guy that they all supported now, he's turned their back on them. He's turned his back on them. You know, a lot of these people were Latinos that supported him, and now they're gone. They deported them. And they're crying. The families are crying. I can't believe Trump did this. What can I say to these people except I told you so? We were trying to tell you people, don't side with him. He is not your friend. Look at his past. Look at how he thinks about people. Look at what he says. You know, he reveals himself by accident everywhere he goes. And I feel like, you know, hey, the rest of the world's smarter than we are because, hey, they all knew this guy was going to be trouble. if he became president for a second time. And so far, they've been right. Everybody's been right about this guy, except, you know, most people in this country who we should have known better. We should have known better. We really should have, because we live with this fucking guy, you know. New York State, New York City, they knew this fucking guy. All right, we knew him better than other people, but yet the rest of the world saw right through this fucking guy, and they knew, you vote for him, it's going to be hell. You know, I don't know. I really don't know, as far as California is concerned, what the governor can do out there to push back on this ICE crap that's happening in his state. Okay, I don't really know. But, you know, people are going to be looking to him as this goes on, and if he's not doing anything, he's history. All right? He's history. If he can't come up with some kind of counterpunch against what's going on in that state, he's gone. They won't vote for him because people don't like losers, basically. They don't like losers, and right now he's looking like a big whining loser because he can't seem to fight what's going on in his state. He can't seem to keep ICE out of it, out of the state. It's his fucking state. He is the governor. Okay, yeah, I understand there's limitations there when it comes to the state and the government, the federal government, but there are options. There are some options there that governors can take. He's got to be willing to take them. If he's not the guy that the state needs right now. At this point in time, they're going to need a governor who's going to fight fire with fire. You know, you notice that Tim Walz's state, they haven't really gone over there yet. You know, Minnesota. Maybe they know Tim Walz would put up a fight. You know, I don't know. Makes you wonder, though. I mean, he's come down hard in California and Florida, and they got DeSantis down there. Of course, DeSantis is probably encouraging it to go, you know, the way that way in Miami. Okay, this guy's got no fucking skin in the game. He welcomes Trump to bring all those wants down there to do what he's doing. But Gavin Newsom is out there, you know, bitching about this and saying it shouldn't be going on, and yet Trump comes down even harder on that state. So he figures Gavin isn't gonna fight him. I don't know. It's up people in California. If there's anybody watching this from California, you got to find out what the hell the story is here. Okay, your governor's got to be doing something here about this, and it's going on too long. This is ridiculous. All summer here, he's been in that state, Trump, you know, with his fucking army. There's Gestapo. Okay, this is ridiculous. It looks terrible. This is not what the United States is supposed to look like. Okay, and anybody who thinks, oh, well, it has to be that, okay, don't listen to them. These are just shills for fucking Trump, and anything he does is A-okay with them. They don't care, you know. So anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to show you that video because it was kind of funny in a way, hearing Trump supporters or former Trump supporters acting so shocked. I tell you, I am shocked, you know, about what he's doing, you know, and like, you know, you just woke up. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.